Before we dive into our curriculum, I do want to look back at some things that you learned in either analytic geometry, algebra, or potentially middle school. I call this the Remember Me unit. Really, it's going to be full of vocabulary that I'm going to use on a daily basis in class or digitally, and I want you to make sure that you understand what I'm saying. So the first thing I want to go over are 4 words that really mean mathematic operations. They are sum, difference, product, and quotient. Now, side note, if this video ever gets to be too fast, or any video, feel free to pause and then play as you need. So sum means add, difference means subtract, product means multiply, and quotient means divide. Or we're gonna have a fraction. In addition to that, I need you to be pretty fluent in all things polynomial. So polynomial is when I take numbers and variables and exponents and combine them in one sentence. So with that said, let's talk about an exponent. Those exponents are also known as powers. We have technically 3 here, but I'm really just going to talk about 2. Our powers that you're going to see the most in this class are 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now, we also need to talk about standard form. That's when my exponents go in descending order, because we like things very orderly in math that will make our life easier in the long run. The number up front, in this particular case it's a 4, that is called a leading coefficient, and we'll learn more about what that means on a later day. Next up, we have terms, okay? So terms are each one of those pieces inside of our polynomial. So they're going to be separated by plus signs and minus signs. So in this particular polynomial, we have 4. So again, I'm just hitting on some key vocabulary that you are going to hear me use. And in fact, a lot of this vocabulary we will go back over in class. Now that last guy, a term with no variable, that one's very, very important. It is called a constant. Now, we do have a couple special polynomials that you're going to see a lot in class. In fact, there are 3: binomial, trinomial, and polynomial. Okay? Now, let's talk about some things that students confuse. First one, FOIL versus factor. When you are foiling, you are multiplying, and some teachers call this double distribute. So I would do x squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 6 and combine in the center. We also have factor. That's when we go backwards. A lot of teachers, including myself, whenever I teach this, we use what's called the X method, where you take the number at the back, in the middle, the number in the middle, ask yourself what 2 numbers multiply to give you the top and add to give you the bottom, and then put them into 2 binomials. So x minus 6, x plus 3. Something else that students like to confuse is when you distribute versus common factor. You know what to do, but when you see those words, sometimes our brains have a little bit of a heart attack. Okay? So distribute. When you are distributing, really, all you are doing is you're multiplying. So that's when you see a monomial, or that little 5 with parentheses and a polynomial. So all you're going to do is take that 5 and multiply it into every single term inside the parentheses. So you've got 10x squared minus 15x plus 5. Where the common factor, that one's going to take a little bit more. The way that I like to describe this to students is you're going to ask yourself 2 questions. Okay? The first question is, what number will divide evenly to every single term? So what number can divide into 12, 9, 6, and 3? In this particular case, 3. Then I'm going to ask, how many x's does each term have in common? So I've got 4 x's, 3 x's, 2 x's, and 1 x. So each term has 1 x in common. Then I take those 2 pieces, put them together, and take them to the outside. So my common factor in this problem is 3x. Then as I take that out, what I have left is 4x cubed plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now, one more thing, and then I will let you go. Prime numbers. Math teachers love using this vocabulary. What in the world is a prime number? All it is math fancy talk for a number with only 2 factors. And those 2 factors are 1 and itself. And in fact, for an extra treat, I have my friend Sheldon Cooper who describes his most favorite, most perfect prime number.